Hi everyone, it's Mike here and welcome back. So today I had the idea to create a kind of art deco-y kind of black and gold art journal page, but a page of two halves. And I wanted to use my new Guys and Dolls grey board figures. So let me turn over to my overhead camera and I'll kind of talk you through the process of what I'm thinking, and then we'll see if we can make it a reality. Because sometimes what's up here doesn't necessarily translate to what's on the page. So this is the new pack of Guys and Dolls Art Shapes. So I've got a pack already open here. As you can see, I used a similar shape to this one, not in the grey board, one that I actually printed and cut out on a piece of paper a couple of weeks ago for my Antigonish art journal page. We're not going to be using that one today. So you get 3 male figures and 3 female figures in the set, and they measure approximately 6 inches in height or thereabout, near enough anyway. But I'm just going to be using these 2 today. I'm working in my 8-inch art journal. It's a mixed media paper art journal. So what I want to do, as I've said, I want to try and create a kind of page of 2 halves. So first thing I want to do is just work out a rough kind of white border around the page. So I'm going to try and stay within this kind of shape, but also I want to try and do a kind of off tilt, so a page that is kind of broken up. I'm going to go across the figures like so, and then follow the line, maybe come down a little bit there, and then go up that way. So carry on with that line in between, and then kind of maybe move that out the way, and then just kind of follow it like so. So maybe move it down just a little, just to kind of keep it a bit more half and halfy. Right, so first thing I want to do is paint some black gesso. So just grab a brush, that one will do. Have I got some water? Do you know I haven't got any water? I'll have to come back in a second. That's better. I should have checked to make sure I had some water in the first place. Okay, so I'll just take some paint from the lid, because waste not, want not, and I'm going to try and stick kind of to that line that we sort of drew earlier. It doesn't matter if I go over a little bit. I can be as painterly, as messy as I want up here, like so. I can do rough kind of edges. It doesn't make any difference. I don't want them to be too perfect. Not much left in that lid anyway. There we go. Actually, do you know what? I could probably get away with painting the whole page black, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. This is just like I said, just like an idea that I had, a kind of picture that I had in my brain, and I wasn't really sure whether or not it would work in reality. I'm just going to bring that a bit further down. There we go. Okay, So that's kind of halfway. So what I need to do is I'm just going to, I can either quickly dry that off with the heat gun or just let it dry naturally, which I will do. I'll put it on the floor out of the way, and I'll bring these two figures back in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to paint both of those completely and utterly in the black gesso. I'll just grab some kitchen towel. Right, I didn't need to put the black gesso away, did I? Right, so I'll have to redraw those lines. You'll be able to see how well the grey board takes the black. Right, let's do the feet. I'll just hold on to the feet for a second, and then just so I've got something to hold on to. Because we're painting dark, you don't really have to do the edges, although they're scorched anyway because they've been laser cut. Right, I'll just quickly give them a dry. Normally when I do this I've got a coffee, but I haven't today. It's rather remiss of me, isn't it? Right, I'll just do the feet, and then if there's any kind of gaps, I can just grab hold of those and just cover them up. There's a little bit of a gap there. And like I said, I mean, if you wanted to do a smaller version of this, you could use some of the Tim Holtz paper dolls, but they tend to be a lot smaller, so which is why I wanted some larger figures. 6 inches seems to be a good size. Okay, so those figures are now dry. So what I'll do is I'll have a quick clean and tidy up, get rid of this black gesso mess here, and then I'll be back when they're a bit tidier. Okay, so we've now got that black line kind of coming through that way, so it's just underneath her hands, which is cool, and then this one is just going to be coming just about where her shorts would come. So we've got a demarcation line there, so if I now, you can see the pencil mark now where I need to be. So again, and put this to one side, and now I need to bring out some glue. So I've got my grab and go glue, which is kind of tacky, like so, and I've got a little bit of sponge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just soak up the sponge. We'll soak the glue up with the sponge, like so. And then I'm going to go over the top following as best I can that kind of line that we drew with the pencil. So this is fairly tacky glue, and it will start to go clear once it starts to dry. So you'll know that you're pretty much ready with your glue. Okay, so the chappy about there. Now, I didn't do his hand, did I? So we worked about there, wasn't it? So also his hand needs to stay black at the bottom. Let's grab some more of that glue. Okay, let's come back in and just add a little bit more of that glue just on the body there. Okay, so I now need a little bit of a container. So I've got this, and I've got some gold embossing powder. So I'm going to cover this is why I did it in the container. And I'm just going to tap okay, and now we'll do the chap. Alright, so now I'm going to heat that up and see where we go. Okay, so while that's still hot, I can just add some more, which should grab. Alright, I'm going to let that cool down a bit, and then I'm going to do the lady. Again, quickly just grab some more while it's still hot. I'm going to just start to let it kind of run down a bit. We'll do the same thing for the chap, so we'll heat that back up. Alright, let's add some more. And I could just put some more glue once this has cooled down a bit. But once you've heated this up and it becomes all molten again, then it's just as good. In theory, anyway. Okay. We now have two semi-gold figures. So we'll let those cool down for a little while. Well, a bit of a tidy, a bit of a clean. Just get rid of some of those excess crumbs. And then I'll be back. Okay, so now while they're kind of cooling down a bit over there, I'm going to grab some of this glue again. This time I'm going to put it directly onto the page. And then I've got my brush. What I'm going to try and do is now just paint the page right up against that line with the glue. Just like I did with the black gesso. And it doesn't matter too much if I just go over a little. Right, that was Ian just checking in. He's at a steampunk event in Whitby, which is on the north coast, northeast. So he's all set up and ready to go for tomorrow. So, which is good. Alright, so I'm just trying to get as close to that line as I can. Now the thing with this glue is I could actually go away and leave this and come back tomorrow and it would still be tacky in a wet kind of sense. Okay, so I think we're just about there. Don't mind just going over a little bit. There we go. Alright, so now the fun bit. This is when we start throwing the embossing powder onto the bottom of the page. Now, I should have probably got a spoon. In fact, let me go and get one. That'd make it a lot easier, wouldn't it? Okay. Okay, I'm back with a spoon. So now I can start adding it all on. See, sometimes when you get these ideas, you think to yourself, is it going to work? Is it just going to be too messy? The only way to actually find out if it's going to work, whether your idea's got any kind of artistic merit at all, is to just have a go and just see. Sometimes we get crazy notions, crazy ideas. I mean, you know, who'd have thought we'd be landing rockets upright? Well, if you know the Thunderbirds, you know that Jerry Anderson, who did the Thunderbirds puppets back in the 60s, had rockets that were landing vertically. I mean, I don't think he would have ever realised or thought that it may have been possible to actually do it in real life. But then again, he might have done. Perhaps he just had faith that somebody with a really weird name would turn up in the 2000s and actually create a rocket that landed vertically. Crazy ideas. Absolutely crazy ideas. But sometimes those crazy ideas are the best. And that looks like a beach. Okay, so quickly while it's still hot, I'm going to get back in there and throw another load on. And obviously I'm not just going to get the heat gun on that, because it's just going to blow it all over the place. But we'll just tap off. We just need to keep going backwards and forwards. Okay, I think that I'm happy with that. Look at that beautiful shine. Okay, so let me cool that down for a second or two. I'll have a little bit of a brush down and a tidy up, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so now it makes a little bit more sense. So now we've got the two. Yeah. Now, because this is a lot textured, I'm going to need to add some thickish kind of gel on the back of these, so just to make sure that they are going to stick down. So I'm going to, and it will go completely clear, so I'm just going to add some on the feet, just on the legs, so this is super thick gel, very, very thick, which will, with any luck, go into the texture, particularly on the gold, and hold it in place. Put a little bit on the arm, just a bit on the arm there, and just a smidge. And go around with a brush afterwards. Right, just remove that excess. Even though it will dry clear, I just want to get rid of any kind of lumps and bumps. As long as I wash the brush, it'll be fine. Right, I'll do the same to the lady. So, not necessarily concerned more about the body, but it's more kind of the legs than anything. So I think actually that probably will do it for the lady. There we go. Again, just take a little bit of that off. And then what I'll do is I'll just put something heavy on that. I'll just drop those in water. Okay, so put something heavyish on there just to hold it in place. A couple of bottles of heavy gesso should do it. That's fairly heavy. Okay, I'll be back in a mo. Okay, now you can see the shine there, can't you? Liking it. Okay, so I've got a Signo pigment ink, gold. I've had this for years and years and years. I have tested it. It does work still. All I'm going to do is just add a little bit. Well, he says it works. It worked a minute ago when I tested it. So all I'm going to do is just go back down and add a little continuation frame in that gold, just kind of across the top. Just because, so that kind of continues that gold theme all the way around. But also, whilst going through my collection of word stickers, I found this set. I don't know whether this is Tim Holtz or whatever, but it is black and gold, or gold-ish. And I just thought, why not? Because there's one there that says shine brightly on a black background. And I just thought to myself, why not? Just tuck that between the two. Like so. Because you don't get much more shiny than that. So there we go. So that was my crazy idea, kind of worked through. Yeah, and I think I'm kind of happy with the results of that. I might go back and just add a little bit of matte medium over the top of that, because that also sharp magic. I suppose it doesn't really make any difference, does it? Yeah. So I think I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the way that's turned out. I'm happy with the way that the gold has stuck and adhered, and there we go. So it's not monotone, is it really? Because there's two colours, black and the gold. But I just love the irregularity and the texture and the feel of the page and the fact that everything's 3D. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed watching me create this art journal page today. A little bit of an experiment. If you have, please remember to hit that thumbs up button, because it really does help get my channel found by people who wouldn't normally see me, because YouTube does recommend my channel to other people. The more people that press that thumbs up, so that would help greatly if you wouldn't mind. Don't forget, you can also share the video with your friends, but also if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video. That's all from me for now. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. And don't forget, you can access your exclusive angel-only content over on my website. There's a link in the description area below. Thank you.